If I had a penny every time I heard, we should have gone through this process 6 months ago, I would have had a jar full of pennies and proof of how much time and money gets wasted when design enters the picture too late. Teams rush to build, code gets shipped, and only then do they realize we built it right, but we didn't build the right thing. So, what happens when design and development actually works together from day one is something that we've been exploring at Pepperplane, and I would love to share more about that now. I started my career as a designer and front end developer, working side by side with development and engineering teams. And from the inside, I saw friction. Designers wanted time to think, and developers and engineers wanted to move really fast. It often felt like two languages trying to describe the same problem from different sides of the screen. And 9 years ago, I started my company to try and bridge this gap, to create a space where design and development collaborate, not compete. And because when those two worlds meet, something incredible happens: clarity. Developers focus on building the thing right, so stable, efficient, scalable. But designers focus on building the right thing, so making sure it's intuitive, meaningful, delightful. And both are essential. The difference is just the perspective. Think of it like building a house. You can have the most solid, perfectly engineered structure, but if it's horrible to live in, it's a failure. In design thinking, we always start by asking, are we building the right thing before we build the thing right? And that shift in sequence saves teams months of rework and a lot of late night bug fixes that might not have, maybe it shouldn't have even been a feature. So every week I still hear, we should have done this 6 months ago, we should have done this a year ago. But by the time we're called in, the product is live, users are frustrated, developers are firefighting, and that's when design debt becomes business debt. So we like to show it through like a simple formula, like let's say fixing a small usability bug during design costs $400. If you catch that same problem during development, it might jump to $4,000. And if it slips through to production, well, you're looking at 40 grand or more. And why is this? It's because every stage multiplies complexity. More people, more systems, more impact. And what starts as moving just a box around in Figma becomes rebuilding an experience that users are already complaining about and they already know. So as we say, every hour you spend testing in design saves 10 in development and 100 after launch. So how do you prevent this from happening? We embed design directly into development teams. We join from day one or as soon as possible. We bring the tools and frameworks that help everyone, developers included, to understand user needs better. Together, we run 2-week design sprints with both disciplines. Each sprint ends with three clear outcomes. The users get what they need, the business gets what it values, and the dev team builds with confidence. Less time, less money, happy clients. For me, that's success. And there's also a ripple effect to this. The most successful projects we've worked on are the ones where design and development meet every week, side by side. Over time, those dev teams actually start to think differently from a design thinking mindset. They start asking the right questions, empathizing with users, challenging assumptions, challenging design. And that's when the culture shift starts to happen, from shipping fast to shipping smart and shipping the right thing. Even without a designer by your side, there are still 3 questions that developers can ask and keep asking to build more user-centric products. Who am I building for? And what problem are they really trying to solve? Keep the user's context alive, not just in a ticket description. The second one is this the simplest way for the user to achieve their goal? So complexity is expensive. Simplicity is the power. Keep that in mind. The third one is, how will this feel once it's in their hands? Because usability isn't a feature, it's an experience, and you need to keep that in mind when you're designing and developing a product. So if these questions become second nature, design and development stop handing off to each other. They start building it together. And this is where design thinking ties it all together. Empathy, defining, ideating, prototyping, and testing. It's not just a design framework, it's a product mindset. It reminds us to slow down at the start so we can move faster later. When design and dev both embrace that approach, we stop working in sequence and start working in sync. This isn't about design leading development or development leading design. It's about the partnership. Two disciplines solving one problem from different angles, chasing the same North Star, the user. And when they share clarity, teams move faster, waste less, create products that truly resonate with their users. And because great products aren't designed or just coded, they're co-created through clarity, shared clarity.